Good evening, and welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole with Katie. I am your host, Kay Dixon, and tonight's show is brought again by Luv-A-Lution Superfood. It is an energy and immunity booster, thyroid support, detox and repair, and a joint and bone support. And it is actually sponsored by John Paul and Amy of Luv-A-Lution. And actually, tonight's show is exactly about Luv-A-Lution. And John Paul, I'm so excited to have you on this show.
Oh,
Thank you for
wow.
joining me.
Oh,
Understand that
thank you
Amy
for,
will be joining us. You're welcome. Amy will be joining us
yes,
very
thank you for
soon.
having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, John Paul, tell us a little bit about who you and Amy are, and then we'll get into the product itself.
Yeah, the Luv-A-Lution is more than a superfood. It's a more of a raising one's consciousness and learning to love yourself. Really, it's the
Mm-hmm.
transformation the individual takes to in consciousness and in self-love. But we met 4 years ago, and she was just fell in love. My twin flame, soulmate, everything. Just
Mm-hmm.
amazing synchronicities, and so the Luv-A-Lution was her brainchild, the superfood, to start a product where we could help people and they could benefit health wise, and then we researched stuff and we found Dr. Sebi had come up with this blend, a particular blend that's very alkaline and very good for your body on the inside.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, we've been a deep, loving relationship for the last 4 years. We have a 3-year-old son, and yeah, we
Aw.
just, yeah, so we're having a great time. We sing songs with our message of truth and love and freedom for all. And
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
we're just trying to raise the vibration of the planet. A lot of lies and deception and fear going on right now. So,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I wanted to read your bio that you sent me a couple of days ago.
uh-huh.
I really enjoyed it when I read it because in it you mentioned truth seekers and uh, light
Absolutely,
pleasers and
yes.
things of that nature. And so I just kind of wanted to get to it when you talk about truth seekers, and then we're going to get into the product. But I just, I like to go all the way around
Oh
the
yeah,
horn.
no,
So when you get into, and when you say, yeah, when you say, oh, here it is. Let me pull it up just a bit. Just a bit. Oh, it has to be down here. Um, here it is. And thank you again for the corrections. I was saying Luv-A-Lution for like the past episode.
that's all right. That's great. That's all
But
right.
I got it.
But
It's
yeah,
Luv-A-Lution. And it
it's
says,
yeah, the
I read
evolution of love. Yeah, the evolution of self-love within oneself, really. Um,
yes.
and we need a love evolution right now so
Yes, we
bad
do.
because we've been taught so many things, but we haven't been taught how to love ourselves and accept
Exactly.
ourselves and forgive ourselves and um, from all how we were raised or what how people treated us. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways,
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So it
Thank
says,
you again for having us, and thank you for taking our product. You look amazing. We're
thank
just
you.
we're just excited that people are really benefiting, and really not many negative reviews or anything on the product. We've been on it ourselves about 4 months. I feel incredible. Um,
I do too.
yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to let our viewers know that we met. I think you guys. saw my interview with David Icke probably or
Ex-
something, and that's
yes,
how we
yes,
connected. Yeah, it's a
exactly. Yeah, we were so
shame.
happy.
It's a
That was
shame that
awesome that
you
you had him
two.
on. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to do a podcast, like a pod broadcast for almost a year now. And like I was explaining to, I think in my last show, I didn't really have the guts to do it. But when I was looking at other podcasts and broadcasts, I'm like, I keep dropping these little nuggets on my social medias and things. And I'm just like, and it sounds kind of asinine. And, I know people are like, what the hell is she talking about? So I figured, since I talk a lot, uh, why not, why not start a broad podcast where I do
Yeah.
it simultaneously? And I was interested. I was going through some videos on YouTube and saw a David Icke interview. And actually, I was introduced to David Icke as a child. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, was one of the most woke, conscious people that I've ever known. She
Oh wow.
introduced us. I've always said, how grandmothers are supposed to teach you how to bake cookies
Mhm.
and sew and things of that nature. And that was not our
Yeah.
grandmother. Our grandmother taught us first about Black history. She taught us history. She gave us Black history, women history, because she
Uh-huh.
had all granddaughters, one grandson.
Yeah.
So that was
Uh-huh.
important to her, and spirituality and truth. And I
Yes.
remember seeing that book, The Biggest Secret, when I was younger. And the book
Uh-huh.
is so thick, and she presented it to me, and I'm like, I'm in high school. I'm like, okay, Leela, like, I'm not gonna read it. But I remember flipping through it, and the content then was just way heavy. So
Yeah.
when I was brought back to the book again, I was like, this is what she was talking about. And
Yeah.
when I read the book is just so heavy. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
I'm a very smart woman, but I'm still reading the book because with David Icke, he's just so full. And it's
Yeah.
like when you read his content, every paragraph, I literally have to put the book down and just say, whoa, and let it process. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
and I think that's how we connected. And then you brought this product,
Yeah.
and I have to say, I was trying to get you guys to do product placement on the film. That didn't work out, but this did. And I have to
Yeah, that's
say,
great.
since I have been using this product, literally, like, I feel so much better, and that is no
Wow.
joke.
Wow,
One
that's
of the main
amazing.
things Yeah, one of the main things that was really bothering me and that was getting to me was my energy level. My energy
Hmm.
level had been down for years, and I was having a problem with my energy level. So I would drink tons of coffee or
Yeah.
take, Excedrin kind of boosts your energy up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But then when you're done with that, there's like this crash where you just come down. There is no crash with Luv-A-Lution. There is
No.
no crash with that.
No, it's
And
incredible. Yeah. And you're
it
just
really is.
you're taking your health back from the inside out. And
Mm-hmm.
it's loving yourself to health, we say, and
Yes.
so yeah, none of us get all those nutrients and minerals and vitamins in our diets on a daily basis. So when you can take this and know you're getting all that good stuff that your food should provide, unfortunately our food doesn't these days,
It does not. It
and
does
our
not.
schedules. And yeah, so um, but yeah, we're so excited and thankful that you are taking it and are benefiting from it. You look great.
I am. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
So in your bio, you said we consider ourselves truth seekers, infinite awareness
absolutely.
aware of itself, anarchists,
Yeah,
cult knowledge, alchemists, and much more. So let's break down each one of those titles. Let's start with Truth Seekers. How are you and Amy, who's going to join us pretty soon? How are you
Yes.
all truth seekers? Let's talk about the
Oh,
truth
well,
seekers portion.
yeah, that yeah, started as a young kid, just questioning everything, really. I didn't like what I was being
Mm.
told in the school system. I mean, who liked going to school? I don't know. So,
I
um,
did.
did you?
I
But anyway,
did.
the school system and then the college and everything, and I was brought up in the Catholic Church, and so I questioned all that stuff, and um, just always have been wanting to know what's going on. Really, that's all it comes down to. Similar to David Icke, he just wants to know what the heck's going on, really, because
That's it.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of our nature to be curious, as kids, and I've never lost that, I guess you could say. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we get, they kind of, society takes it out of us as we age and become adult, and we got to be serious and can't question, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, but
Mm-hmm.
then we lose ourselves that way.
Absolutely.
Um,
I was just having a conversation with one of my with a buddy of mine yesterday, and actually with another young lady on here that I interviewed a couple of weeks ago. Her name is Cinya Haynes, who has a wonderful children's project where she's writing children's books. But I was that kid in school from first grade. My first time I got in trouble was when I questioned the walking on the moon thing. And
wow.
there were so many things. And even though I've always been into theater, music, film, arts, I was that artsy kid. But it
Uh,
wasn't until I really gained the knowledge of film when
yeah,
that brought everything together, all of the
yeah,
questions, all of the things as a child that I questioned. And I remember getting in trouble in first grade when we talked
wow.
about the walking on the moon. And I was like, it just didn't make sense to me. And
Yeah.
as a child, my mother and my parents, they never discouraged anything as far as learning was concerned. Both of my parents are ministers and educators and things like that. And they never discouraged anything that I sought out, especially about learning. So as a kid, I did this whole research on how, the elements of the moon. And well, if he walked on the moon, then, my thing was, how could we transmit? Because I understood television. I loved television as a kid.
Hmm.
So I'm like, well, how could we transmit from the moon at that time? That means that we would have had to have satellites. I mean, just all of these different things. And I
Hmm.
came to the conclusion that y'all did that in the studio in Hollywood. And so when I brought that information back to my teacher, she was just like, well, you're wrong. Well, no, no, no. And one thing that adults do that kind of bothers me with children when they're inquisitive children,
Hmm.
if adults do not have the answer, then they'll just say, "Oh, because we told you so." Because it is. It just is. And one
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
I'm an arts instructor, and that's one thing that I do not do to my children. I never tell them if there's a question that I cannot answer. I just say, you
Hmm.
know what, I don't know. So let's you
Yeah.
and I work together to figure out the answer because
Yes.
whatever. I too was brought up in the Catholic church. Well, not brought up in the
Yeah.
Catholic church, but I went to Catholic school,
Yeah.
the Roman Catholic school system from 8th grade through high school. And
Hmm.
boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. I know.
Did
Wow. The
I
programming.
get in trouble? Ooh, the
Yeah.
programming and the indoctrination is just
Oh,
like,
yes.
wow.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on there. Second part, infinite awareness, aware of itself.
Yes. Well, that comes from David Icke, because he about 3 years ago, we discovered him and his YouTube videos, which are all gone now, unfortunately. And
Mine included.
yes, I know that was that was a great interview you did.
Thank you.
But yeah, so just learning what his information made so much sense, and it was the only thing that's really made sense in my truth seeking, the
Mm-hmm.
most sense, the way he explains our reality and our perception, deception, and all that. Um, his and that we are infinite consciousness, experiencing this 3D reality in a human, skin suit, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and how
Mm-hmm.
when you realize that, how silly we judge each other's skin suits, you know, instead of being
And
open to the oneness that we're all connected, instead of being all separate, you know.
and that is the key. That
Yeah.
we are all here in these human skin suits, and that we are all human
Yeah.
beings. And I think once we can understand that, and once we get that in our heads, and once we can grasp that,
Hmm.
then we should be okay. We
Yes.
should really, really, really be okay. Um, Anarchists.
Yes.
Dun 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 dun.
But the
That's a word that
I'm
people
sorry.
don't use. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry. Oh,
No,
so yes,
anarchists. Yeah.
yeah. That word. So that word actually means, it's not meaning violence and looting. It actually means no rulers, right? So
Mm-hmm.
anarchy is no rulers. So basically, we think no one should be in charge of us. No masters, no slaves. Basically, how it
Mm-hmm.
and and true anarchy is you doing no harm and knowing natural law. There's natural laws in the universe that people were not all aware of, kind of like gravity. You know, we know about gravity, but there's a
Yes.
law, there's a natural law that govern human consciousness, or karmic law,
Mm-hmm.
you might have heard of. Um,
Yes.
Moral law, it's also called universal law. Um,
Yes.
so what goes around comes around. Do unto others.
Yes.
Um, so that's the anarchy part. True anarchy, meaning we don't go outside of ourselves for look to government to govern us. You know, we're
Mm-hmm.
self-governing individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that in that regard, the true anarchism, not the what they say on TV is anarchy when people um, are actually doing harm to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
go ahead.
No, but I was going to say, but that's not the real, that's not the actual genuine, that's not the case there.
Yeah.
There was a situation a couple of months ago that I had with a relative. And when I went to the police station in the city of Chicago,
Uh,
literally, the receptionist at the police station is such a long story, but literally, basically, she told me then, she said, and I quote, the Chicago police station is closed. And I
wow.
said, whoa. I said, wait a minute, what do you mean? And she explained everything. And so, and I don't think this was should have been said to a civilian, but she basically just literally said that the police are not, unless it's an emergency like a gun,
Yeah. Yeah.
some type of gun violence or something like that that's going on, you can call the police and you're going to be on the phone with them for a very, very long time. And that is the truth. It took me 3 hours to get through to the police. And I
Uh-huh.
remember getting back in my car and I was talking to the person that was with me, and I said, "Oh my God, this is complete anarchy." But to me, at that time, it was like I visualized just a place without the police, without the mayor, without a governor, without any type of governing, and people
Mhm.
just acting and reacting. And I was just like, oh my God. And to me, that was anarchy. But when I
Yeah,
studied the actual word of anarchy, I was like, well, no, that's not it. That's not it.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
They
getting,
use the words to manipulate us very well.
mm-hmm,
And for instance, the word government means mind control when you break it down in Latin. And when one
mm,
believes heavily in government, they're under deep mind control. So yeah, there's a
deep
lot
mind
of hit
control. That's the
deep, yeah.
truth.
And there's so many hidden meanings in our words. So they've gotten us to believe that we need government in order to avoid chaos. When with the
Mm-hmm.
government is chaos, we're experiencing that right now.
Complete.
Yeah, and they say, "Oh, you need us, or else it'll be anarchy." But actually, when we're all responsible and for ourselves and come together as harmony as one, the human race against this controlling evil, tyranny. Because we have the
Mm-hmm.
numbers. That's the positive thing. We
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
they can't control all of us.
They can.
And no, physically they cannot do it. That's why they use the mind control tactics. And the television is an amazing tool of theirs that just has everyone. And yeah, we turned off our
Gone.
televisions. We stopped watching TV about 4 years ago. That's probably the best decision I have made.
Really.
Yeah.
I actually I turned off mine earlier this year, I want to say.
Good
It
for
was
you.
right
Yeah.
after, yeah, it was right
It's taking
after.
taking our power back.
Mhm. Mhm. It was right after the Murder Hornets story that they put
Uh-huh.
out. I was like, at this point, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
You could
again,
see right through it.
when you understand film and television, and it's such a hard thing because it's hard and then it's sad at the same time, like to
Hmm.
wake up, to literally just imagine. And I think there was a Twilight Zone episode like this where this guy woke up. He had been going through his life, and then he woke up, and his whole life had been a dream. And
Yeah.
so the wife that he was with now was not the wife that he had been dreaming about for so long. And
Yeah.
it is when I realized that, that was so hard for me, because it's like everything that you have been taught, everything that you think is real, everything that you know to be real. Can you imagine? It's still for me a very hard pill to swallow.
It is. It
That
is.
this is
It's
not,
tough.
it's not, it's bullshit. Like it's
Yeah.
not real. None of it.
Yeah.
And and you can't, like when you talk about things like this, people are like, what are you talking about? What are you crazy? This sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounds ridiculous, absolutely, because it's real, you know. So I cut off
Yeah.
my television. The only time that I watch TV, I only watch it twice. Now I only watch it twice a year, and that's when the Twilight Zone marathon
Oh yeah.
is on television. I sit up, and it's usually like the 4th of July. So I sit up and just kind of veg out like all weekend. And
Hmm.
but other than that, I do not watch television. I don't
No.
need it.
Yeah. I was
I'm
raised with
almost
it. Yeah. I was raised with it and was pretty brainwashed with it. Um, and then
mm-hmm,
realized how it was making me feel so horrible and the
so
just
horrible.
making you dumber by the second, basically. making us, and
And that's the truth.
yeah, and it's gotten worse and worse every year. It gets worse and worse. And when you're have some consciousness, you can see right through it, and it just feels great to turn it off.
That's the truth. And after the bombarding of, well, so I turned my TV off in March after the Murder Hornets thing. And then like sometimes I'm over other people's houses, or like if I'm in the car and I happen to just have the radio on, um, and I catch the radio or the television, and it's just like the programming. It's just a bombarding of
Exactly.
COVID-19, wear
Yeah,
masks,
yeah,
stay at
yeah,
home,
yeah.
be alone, don't do
It's
this,
yeah,
don't do that.
it's horrible. Why?
And
Who the hell are they to tell us?
it's
You
so
know?
horrible. And the thing about it is that it's been going on for years. You've always listened to the radio, but all of a sudden it just became more and more, just like it just stood out to me. Like the messages that, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
just everything. Stay at home, COVID-19, wear a mask. And you see it when you're driving, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask, have a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask. Where's your mask? You're stupid if you don't have a mask. You're dangerous if you, I mean, it's completely ridiculous.
yeah.
Just
So you're in the city, right? In Chicago?
yeah, I'm in Chicago.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we're out in the woods, way up in northern New England. It's a little different, There are it's but when you go into town, yes, of course, you see it everywhere. The fear, and everyone
Mm-hmm.
who stares at their TV all day, they got a mask on proudly, because they they're told, if you don't have a mask, then you don't care about humanity, which is
You
the
don't.
complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And but on another note, it's fun, um because and especially with these with the political stuff that's going on now. The election is coming up, the debates, and this, that, and the third. And it's so fun for me. I was in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. I was filming, and so I kind of just had the TV on just for white noise, and I was watching I was going back and forth from Fox and MSNBC, and it was just amazing to see like this game that's being played back and forth between the two networks, and one
yeah,
of them likes Trump, the other one doesn't. One of them are
yeah,
clearly Democrats, the other ones are clearly Republicans, and it's always this red blue,
yeah. I know, it's
red pill,
silly.
blue pill, stay woke, go to sleep type thing that's going on
Yeah,
consistently. So it's fun now for me to sit back and watch, and I'm just like, okay, I can see the game, I see straight through it. But now I kind of have calmed down a little bit, and just like, it's a saying that the kids have a saying now: when you know. So it's just like, you know.
yeah. I call it the politics. It's Hollywood for the ugly people. That's what politics is.
Mm, I like that. Let me write that down.
Yeah, write
Hollywood
that one down because they're
for,
reading the scripts too,
oh yeah, oh yeah. It's
and they
definitely
want us.
po-
They they want us watching that movie, Red, Blue, Red, Blue. Who do you like? I mean, it's
Mhm.
like
Mhm. Mhm.
nothing ever changes, and now with the AI and the transhumanism that they're
Oh my
getting ready
God.
to, yeah, we really have to choose the nature over this inorganic AI intelligence they want us to. They're merging us with that, that we're unaware of too.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just say no to the vaccines. That Bill Gates doesn't want have our best interests. He is. Yeah. Well, about that guy. He's just trying to tell us what's best for us. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this computer geek is
And I'm
telling us
trying
what
to
to do.
understand. Yeah, I'm trying to understand how is it that, I mean, again, I said this on another show. He is not a scientist. He is not
No.
a doctor. He is not a politician. He
No.
is not a humanitarian. He is, oh, he's kind of an actor. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
But it's
he's
like,
like the puppet for the cult. That he's the puppet boy, or the and he's doing what he says, and he thinks he's a big shot, and he doesn't love himself. He hates himself so much he wants to take down all of humanity, unfortunately.
yeah. And it's just like, who is he? Who is he to tell us? I've never, I don't understand how a doctor or a person who's not a doctor or who's not a scientist can tell us about vaccinations and what is good for us and what we're supposed to take. I mean, I
Absolutely,
never
yeah.
understood that. All he is a computer geek with money. That's it.
Yeah,
And apparently that's,
that's absolutely. He is a technocrat, basically, is what he's a technical guy. He's been groomed for this position, for this moment, and that's why they gave him all that money so he can go
mm-hmm,
and do harm and try to vaccinate the world. His father
yeah,
was into it. His parents were into it, doing the same type of
mm-hmm,
eugenics programs way back when.
mm,
And
mm,
yeah, he really is just a puppet for the cabal, and him and Fauci, and people are seeing right through it. I hope. I hope the
yeah, I
majority of
hope.
us can. You know.
Yeah, I don't think that people, and that's the scary and the sad thing too, is that there are so many people who don't see through it. There are so many people, like majority of the people, I mean,
You're
majority of the
right.
population, they do
You're
not
right.
see it. They won't see through it. And I think that's what kind of not upsets me, but kind of just makes me like, you know, people just don't get it. And you can talk until your tongue falls out of your mouth, rolls on the floor. You can actually show people things.
Yeah.
There was a situation recently where someone actually showed proof of some situation, and people were still like, like that's not real, that's just, and to have that kind of control over people, to have that kind of control over people is one thing, but for people to have that dense of a mindset
Yeah.
where they just believe anything. You mean I can tell you anything? You mean you can turn on this television and I can say whatever I want to, and you're going to believe it? That is power. And that is the reason why I am into film and
Yeah.
television, because hey, let me join in. Let me get in the game somewhere here too. If you'll believe anything, I mean anything. So
Yeah.
anyway,
No.
moving
Well,
on
they
to
know.
the
Yeah, they know that the TV through the images helps program the subconscious mind through the subliminal imagery of television, to where radio doesn't program you the same way because it goes through your ears, and there's more of a filter just
mm,
going through the ears. But with images, the television really grabs you, like, and you don't even know it's going in your subconscious, and then you'll see a commercial, and then a day later think, oh, I want that. And that's because it was put right in there through the advertising that we pay for. And
mm,
so we're paying to be programmed by the advertising and brainwashed through the television. One of the
mm,
oldest and strongest forms of propaganda there is. Um, and it's really got such a hold on people, and because being a non-watcher, I just talking with someone for a couple minutes, I could tell they watch the television every night, all pretty much.
Every night, all day. There are some people that keep their television on 24/7.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how they can do that. Um, One of the things I've learned in film and about film is that if you watch something without listening to it, you're gonna get one story.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to it without watching it,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna hear something else. Now
Yeah,
you
yeah.
put that together and you're gonna get the message that they want or whomever wants you to have, because what the eyes see and the ears hear, at the same time the mind must believe.
Yeah.
And I discovered that when I was watching, I came across, well, someone had been telling me to watch Kung Fu Hustle for years. Another filmmaker buddy of mine told me to watch Kung Fu Hustle for years. And when I first watched it, there was something wrong with like my DVD. So I was only able to see it in black and white. Now watch this. There was a reason why film went from black and white to color. Because when it was in this distorted, as I was watching Kung Fu Hustle, it was in this distorted kind of um, picture. So I could literally see all of the subliminal things that was coming from the film itself.
Oh, wow.
Now, after I turned it, and I was going to sleep and I wasn't watching it, but I was listening to it, and I wish I had my notebook because I wrote down the things that I was hearing. And all I was hearing was kill, 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 murder, we're gonna kill this, kill, murder, this. This is what I was hearing. Now,
Wow.
when I
Yeah.
watched the film again in color and with
Mm-hmm.
the sound, totally different. Three different pictures in one. And that
Wow.
is the amazing thing. And that's the whole gist of programming and television and movies. Because
Yeah.
there are these subliminal things, but you don't get it because you're watching it in color, number one, and you're hearing it
Uh-huh.
at the same time. So, and I
Yeah.
think that was the point of a swordfish when I can't think of his name, but John Travolta, when he was talking about misdirection, he was
Uh-huh.
saying what the eyes see and the ears hear, the mind believes. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing of programming. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing
That
of
perception.
television
Yeah.
and film.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
misdirection and
molds our.
perception.
Yeah. It molds our perception. And Amy's joining us here.
Yay!
Hey, Kay.
Hey, Amy. Hi.
All
How
right.
are
All right.
you?
Oh, sorry I'm late.
No, you're
Sorry, guys.
fine. You're
Nice
fine.
to nice to see you, love.
You too, honey. Thank you again for the
Yeah.
product. Thank you
Thanks
so
for having
much.
us on the show. We appreciate it. We
Absolutely.
got to put our heads together.
That's fine. You guys look good. So,
You too,
Amy,
Kay.
why don't you, thank you. Why don't you take the last two? I was breaking down you all's bio, and I'm to the point where you said that you were teachers of occult knowledge. Why don't you take that and explain that to our viewers on tonight?
Yes, awesome. So occult means hidden knowledge. So if you think of the
Mm-hmm.
pyramid, right? The pyramid.
Right?
So just like any business, the people at the top know about everything that has to do in the business.
Mm,
And
mm.
the people at the bottom don't know what's really going on.
What's
And so
happening?
this is knowledge hidden from the public. And so we're always unraveling hidden
Mm-hmm.
knowledge from us, including natural law.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
We talked
oh, you
about.
talked about natural
Yeah, we
law,
talked natural law.
and all sorts of information hidden from us. So we're always unraveling as
Awesome.
much as we can.
Oh, this is Sebastian, if you could see him. Hey,
Hi,
buddy.
Sebastian. Oh, that's so cute. Okay. He's like,
He's
no, 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 no,
sleepy.
no. Oh,
Ooh,
that's okay, Sebastian. I understand. I have three, so they all were
Awesome, yeah.
that age, obviously, at one point in time. So I completely understand. Um, Amy, as far as the occult knowledge, oh, I wanted to ask, when did you have your awakening? When was
Um,
that?
yeah, so it's kind of like gone on and off, right? So I awakened
Mm-hmm.
back in college in 2009 a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
then I went back
Mm-hmm.
to sleep. And then I woke up again,
Really?
and then I went back to sleep. Yeah, because I would go back with like the herd and what was comfortable. I was scared of what people would say or whatnot. And then
Mm.
I started researching vaccines when my son was being born, and I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea how corrupt the medical system is. And so
Mm-hmm.
about 4 years ago, I
Mm-hmm.
started down the rabbit hole like you, Kay, and
Yeah.
started questioning every single thing. And so about 4 years ago, I really started diving deep and researching every damn day, and
Mm. Mm.
trying to spread truth. So yeah, about
And
4 years.
it's so I like how you said that you woke up and then you went back to sleep and then you woke up again and you just haven't gone back to sleep.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I said, I'm not really like in touch with people I used to be in touch with, and I've lost
mhm.
relationships and this and that. But
Mhm.
I'm growing and becoming a individual, instead of a herd
Mhm.
animal. So
Mhm. And that happens. You kind of, and it's not something I don't think, well, it's not something that you plan, but it's just something that kind of just happens. You just kind of just I think as you begin to raise your consciousness, like everything else becomes so dumbed down to the point where I'm finding myself not being able to have just normal conversation with people. And I seem to be so far ahead of people. Like I'll be on the phone having a conversation, and it's like if they're moving too slow, if they're talking too slow, it's like I just have there's this language barrier, something I cannot get with the program. I just cannot.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah,
like
I totally hear you.
I don't want to call people dumb. I think that's insulting, but it's just sometimes I'm just on the phone with people, I'm listening to people talk, and I'm just like, I never realized how slow some people are and how behind in times some people are. Um, and it's again, it's disheartening. Sometimes it's very sad because you just don't gel with majority of people anymore. I mean, people that you've loved your whole entire life, people that you've gone with your entire life. And it's just like at this point, it is what it is. It is
It
what
is.
it is. And like I was saying to John Paul, when you know, you know. And that's that. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
you
these.
can't turn around. You can't go back now. So
Mm-mm, mm-mm. It's like Neo in the Matrix. You got when you take the red pill, it's over with. And
Yeah. Absolutely.
it's over with. And sometimes I feel like the guy that's like, you know what? I kind of just want to go back now. Like, I want to be rich and just, even though I know the steak isn't real, it's so good. And but then it's just like, nah, give
I
me,
know it's
I took the
easy.
red pill. Let me just, that's the
It's
easy part.
Yeah, it's easier to be ignorant, but it's so worth it to be evolving and
Mm,
transforming, right? Because that's what we're here
that's,
for, is to
that's
evolve.
true. That's true. You said that you all are alchemists. Talk about that. Alchemy.
So you guys like that?
Oh
Internal
yeah.
journey.
Well, just the self mastery or self realization. We try to teach that. Know thyself is a big. Know thyself to love thyself is one of our slogans. So everywhere in ancient Egypt, all over the place would have know thyself all over, and just like we have advertising billboards, they'd have truth billboards and of
Mm.
empowering phrases like that, and
Mm-hmm.
and basically not many of us know who we really are, and basically it comes down to we're love. um,
Mm-hmm.
at that frequency without any programming. We're pure love. And
love doesn't care what people think. So how many of us care what people think? And we change our behavior all the time because we're worried that people are going to talk about us, or people are going to, you know, and so we gotta stop worrying what people think, because we aren't going to be ourselves. So it's really about just being yourself and, you know, being true to that.
yeah.
Losing friendship.
And that,
you know?
yeah, and that was one of the things that David Icke said in my interview. I really hate that they took it down, but the good part is that he is willing to do another interview with me.
That's great.
And we're gonna do it on a different program. Yeah, and I'm actually going to London. I'm going to him to have this interview, and I'm going with my camera and my whatever. And this time we're just gonna sit back and just we're gonna chop it up, because the man can go for hours and hours and hours.
But he knows so much. He knows so much.
Man,
David,
man. But that day he had 3 interviews, and I was kind of, first of all, it was my first interview, so I was super duper nervous. And then to have it with David Icke, I was way beyond nervous. And then to turn around, and he was saying that he had 3 interviews that day, so I kind of wanted to be conscious about his time. But he is such a good guy. Like, behind the scenes, before we came on, he's just this regular cat, you know. And he's just awesome. But that is one of the things that he said. If you cannot be yourself and people cannot respect who you are as a person, then what the hell are you doing around them anyway? And a lot of times we try to conform to the norm just to fit in. But what I have learned and what I have understood, even about myself, is that no matter what, whether I conform or not, I still will not fit in, period. So it doesn't matter. So I may as well be myself. Let's get into this product, because we've been talking about everything, but this product, you said, was inspired by Dr. Sebi. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so this is an all-in-one cellular food. This is an all-in-one multivitamin and mineral. So it has all the vitamins and minerals that we need to thrive. So Dr. Sebi was very informative and very smart about what we need, what our bodies need. And he knew that disease grows in acidic environment, and he understood that the alkaline environment is what we need to thrive. And so these 3 ingredients in this superfood are the most powerful alkaline foods on this entire planet. And these 3 together is equivalent to the 102 vitamins and minerals we need to thrive. And we've been taking it for about 4 months, and we feel so amazing.
Yeah.
And you've been taking it for a little while.
And I feel amazing.
Oh, good. Awesome.
I feel absolutely amazing. I was just telling John earlier that one of the things that was bothering me was my energy level was down a lot. So I was taking artificial things. I drink coffee like freaking all day long. And then I would back it up sometimes, like in the morning, I would get up and I would take 2 Excedrin, because whatever is in Excedrin gives you that boost. So I would take like 2 Excedrin, coffee. I mean, I'm talking like 6 sugars, 3 creams. This is a small coffee. 6 sugars, 3
I love
creams,
coffee too.
and 2 extra shots of espresso. And when I would order my coffee at wherever I was at, they'll be like, "You want 2 shots of espresso?" Yes, ma'am. I need 2 shots. I got to get myself going here. But I was telling my mom, because she ordered the product as well, and I'm telling her, I was taking, it said take 2 capsules once daily, preferably with a meal. So because I was taking this and like like another detox, I would take one of these in the morning and then I was taking one at night. And I found I was up like I just got all this energy. So I'm like,
Oh
no,
wow.
let me take the Luv-A-Lution. I know. I said, let me take the Luv-A-Lution in the morning and the other products, during the evening. And there's another detox thing that I'm taking. I think it's Liver Focus and a Mag 07 that I'm taking. And I'm just like, I had to learn to take the Luv-A-Lution in the morning because your energy level is just up there. So for those who are suffering from low energy levels, this product is what you need. It's what's happening. How did you all get
Absolutely.
into this business? Like, how did you come across this Luv-A-Lution?
Go ahead, love.
So we started on Amazon, a little, like, we took a course on Amazon, and we didn't
Mm-hmm.
just want to do any product. We really wanted to make a product that could help people, because we're all about
Mm-hmm.
helping humanity and taking our power back. So we
Mm-hmm.
discovered this amazing trio, which is the Irish
Mm-hmm.
moss, bladderwrack, and the burdock root. When we were researching
Yes.
products, actually, and then we stumbled
Mm-hmm.
across the product and we looked into it for ourselves, and then we started learning from Dr. Sebi, and then we decided to go for it, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we got
Yeah,
started. But we're very interested. We're always been interested in the human body and nutrition and things like that. And so yeah, that's really how we got started.
and yeah, I
So
used
this
to.
is. Go
Sorry, do you know
ahead.
that product? You ever heard of that product, Mona V? It was
Yes.
um, it was acai blended superfood juice, and I was involved in that business years ago, and health supplements, and that was real expensive product. This one is an amazing blend and a complete product with all the vitamins and minerals. So we
Mm.
yeah, we were really excited just to try it ourselves, and then hopefully some other people can benefit and enjoy it as well.
It's for men, it's for
Yeah.
women, it's for
Yes.
children. Our son takes it. We sprinkle it on pasta or salads or smoothies. You can put him in smoothies, and he
Awesome.
loves it. And it's awesome. So we know he's getting all of his vitamins and minerals. We know that he's getting his all protein. So all you, honey. So the ingredients, K, is antiviral, antimicrobial,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anti-microbial,
Inflammatory.
anti-inflammatory. So it's removing toxins from the body, and we can all admit there's
And
toxins
woe is it.
everywhere, right? So it's
Yes.
detoxing you and it's repairing you. So it's an
Yes.
all-in-one detox and repair supplement. It's really good for thyroid support, for people who have thyroid issues. It's really helpful for that. It has the most iodine
Mm-hmm.
than any other seaweed in the world, Irish sea moss. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's packed full of so many beneficial minerals and vitamins.
It really is. And it also says joint and bone support. And let me
Yeah.
just say, for the past, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years, I have been having problems with my left leg. And last year in June,
So this is
my
what they
left leg, my left leg uh, swelled up so bad. I was driving. I was getting ready for this lady at my church was getting married that day, and I was driving around trying to get ready for her wedding, and my left leg started bothering me, and my whole left side went numb. Not just my
Oh
left
wow.
leg, my whole left side went numb.
Wow.
And I thought that I was having a stroke. When the ambulance came to where I was living, and they put me, by the time the ambulance got there, because I went home and I laid down, by the time they got there, my leg was double the size that it was obviously supposed to
Wow.
be. Went to the hospital. The ER, you just go to the ER nowadays just for shits and giggles because they're not really going to do anything. But once I got under the care of my physician, who's my physician now, and she's a young African American woman who is on the money. And she is one of those physicians that she really, really cares. Like, she goes to the end of whatever it is. She tries to really get to the bottom of it. She gave me every single test that you could imagine. And she could not find anything. She had no idea what was going on with my leg, what's happening, why I was having the pains, why I was having all of these issues, what was going on. So what do? They give you pain pills. Well, the pain pill just put you to sleep. They don't help the situation. So if you want to go to sleep, you gotta take a pain pill. But I have to say, since I have been using this product, my left leg has not been bothering me as much, maybe, and as hard. I think the other day I went for a walk, and when I got back home, it was a little bit of a pain, but it went right away. It went away right away. And I noticed that it went away after I took my morning supplements. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
So
great news.
I'm a believer.
And it's a cumulative effect too. The more you take it, the more you will start. Your body will start basically just getting out, like cleaning out the engine in a car. You know, it's gonna start running real clean and smooth, and you're gonna be feeling the difference. And that's great news.
Yes.
Leg.
Yes, absolutely.
And boosting immunity too, which is great. Sorry, Kay, what were you saying?
No, you're fine. I just wanted to tell the people again, like you said, there is Irish sea moss, which is like becoming this whole. A lot of people are getting in on the sea moss thing now. Bladderwrack and burdock root, and my guy was just talking to me about the burdock root today before he left. He was helping me with lighting and everything, and he was saying how he's taking some supplements, and that's part of the supplements that he's taking as well.
Nice.
So this is
all the answers are in nature. Right?
Absolutely. There is nothing that cannot be cured by nature. And I believe that.
Absolutely.
I believe that with all of my heart. I like science and medicine for what it is, because there's benefits. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not, you don't just throw out the baby with the bathwater. But I don't depend on science and medicine, because I know that the pharmaceuticals is just a legal dope game. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a legal dope game. If you want to be a legal dope dealer, get into pharmaceuticals, because that's what it is. You're a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You are a legal drug dealer. And whenever they're trying to push a certain medication, that's when everyone has this particular ailment. When my children were little, they were pushing some type of asthmatic whatever medicine. So all the kids, hey baby, cutie pie. So all the children that were born between the years of 2000 and 2001, they all probably had asthma. They all probably had bronchitis, because there was this I can't think of the name of it, but they were pushing this particular medication, and that's just all it is. Tell the viewers how we can find you. I have pinned your website. I'm gonna type it again and put it on the screen. But how can our viewers find who you are, or find where you are, or find you on the internet?
Yeah, the website, like you said, Luv-A-Lution.net, and then we have a YouTube channel, Luv-A-Lution, same spelling, and yeah, we'd love to have you on.
Absolutely. Love.
We're so glad we met you today. You know, this is all about coming together. This is about coming together.
It is.
And speaking that truth, you know?
Yeah, it's so
yes.
It's so important now, because we're one big family. but we're acting like, you know, so divided and separate. We got to come together.
Well, and they're dividing us, you know, all the, you know, they're dividing us even more. So
Yeah, yeah. And that's John and I was talking about that earlier. There's this red, there's this blue, there's the Democrats, there's the Republicans. Who do you like? Who don't you like? You got to be on this, black, white. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to make a choice. It's over here or over there. It's ridiculous. And I'm just like, I'm over all of it. So I
yeah.
have put up your websites here. I want to thank you all for joining in. I'm going to leave that one up
Thank you.
there just so our viewers can see. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you to our viewers. We had one comment. I like to shout those out from Jeff Baker, who also saw the David Icke interview and has been following me on social media ever since then. And he's always supportive, always looks at my lives, always looks at my shows. And he says, I'm late, but looking great. So thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Kay, for having us on our show. We appreciate that so much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you.
Absolutely. You guys have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye,
You
Sebastian.
too.
We love you.
Bye. We'll do it again.
Bye.
All right, take care.
Catch us next
Okay, love you.
Friday. Thank
Love
you.
yourself.
At 7 p.m. I will.
All right.
Thank you for
Love you.
our
Bye.
next guest. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Peace.